Hello, everyone, and welcome to Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories. I'm your host, retired NYPD Sergeant Bill Cannon, a 27-year veteran of the NYPD. I want to wish everyone, I know it's a little early, but a happy Thanksgiving. People, I'm sure, have started their travel plans, are visiting friends and family all over this country. And this is one of the finest times of the year, I think, to be with your friends, your family, your loved ones, and express how much you care about them and how thankful you are for the blessings that you've received over the years. And even if you had a bad year, there's always next year, right? And you have to be the eternal optimist. Well, Donna Adelson has, of course, she was arraigned, but made her first real court appearance. She sat silently in the Leon County Jail as she learned she would remain behind bars after being charged in the 2014 murder of her former son-in-law, Dan Markell. Adelson is 73 years old. She was joined by her Miami-based attorney, Marisol Descalzo, via Zoom as Leon County Judge Jason Jones discussed conditions of her bonds and the amounts. The hearing took place just hours after she was booked into the jail, of course, ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. She was granted $50,000 bail for two of her charges, solicitation and conspiracy, but the state recommended no bond for first-degree murder, a decision that would seal a jail stay pending trial. The judge stipulated or agreed to that, the attorney for Donna Adelson agreed to that decision ordered by Judge Jones, though she intends to take it up with Leon Circuit Court Judge Stephen Everett, who is overseeing the case. And this is according to the Tallahassee Democrat. Jones told Adelson she couldn't contact the victim's family, any co-defendants, or any witnesses listed in the probable cause affidavit of her arrest. And of course, the judge asked if she understood. She replied she did. And this is sort of, if you don't know this case, it's sort of heartbreaking to see this, to see a woman who's never been arrested, has lived on the up and up her whole life, lived in for the matriarch of a wealthy, powerful family, and to go down this way in your twilight years, for me, is quite, I think it's sad. Many people watching this case since 2014, they just want revenge against this family and for this horrible deed that they did, they conspired to together. And when we look at the picture on the screen right now of all the people involved in this case, and four so far have already been arrested and convicted. Luis Rivera, the Latin king, who's got the brain the size of a pea. Sigfredo Garcia, the shooter in this case, right? And Catherine Magbanua, who was the mother of the Sigfredo Garcia, the shooter, two children. So we could call that somewhat of a common law, or a baby daddy, whatever you want to call it. And of course, Charlie Adelson, the dentist and the son of Donna Adelson, and the brother of Wendy Adelson, whose husband was the victim in this, Dan Markell. And then we have Harvey Adelson and Wendy Adelson, two members of the family who have yet to be charged. However, it's early on, folks, and it could surely occur. So hold on to your seats. Get ready if you like police, true crime from a police perspective. Then you're in the right place. So hold on and join us at Police Off the Cuff. There has to be some common sense.
Yes, sir. They have the car stop in 10th and Ranch Michael by there.
We still don't know who pulled the trigger. When we speak about her appearance in court, you see this sort of old grandmotherly looking woman, of course, the picture I just put up, sort of, pathetic. And most people would look at that and feel sorry for her, but except when you know what occurred and her involvement in this. And the unique thing about this case is that the son, Charlie, has already been arrested and charged. So how much easier will it be? There's the whole crew there, right? The whole crew of probable people, and Wendy, of course, on the top left, who has yet to be arrested and charged. And many people are salivating at the thought of the time and place when she gets arrested, because many people believe that she is the most culpable, the most responsible, yet she walks free.
Looks like we have Ms. Donna Adelson in the chair. Good morning, Ms. Adelson. This is Judge Jones. You are here, first appearance on case number 2023 CF 3226. You are charged with 1 count of murder, 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder, and 1 count of solicitation to commit murder. I see that we have your attorney with us here on Zoom. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Marisol Descalzo on behalf of Donna Adelson.
Mr. Scalzo. So this was an arrest that was done by warrant. PC has already been found. I have reviewed the PC warrant. State, what is your recommendation for bond?
I believe this is a grand jury indictment, Judge. The true bill indicating there was no bond on count 1. You murdered in first degree, $25,000 bonds set on counts 2 and 3. Obviously, no contact with the victim's family, no contact, I suspect, also with co-defendants previously charged with the state or witnesses listed in the probable cause affidavit.
Mr. Scalzo?
You know, the amazing thing about this case, when we talk about counts 2 and 3, the conspiracy, and 25,000 on each one of those counts, but no bail on count 1, which is murder first degree. The other thing is when the attorney, Marisol Descalzo, when she asks the actual presiding judge in this case for bail, how can he, in good conscience, grant bail when she was caught with a one-way ticket fleeing to Vietnam, first Dubai and then to Vietnam? What judge is going to risk bailing this woman with huge financial means? Is he going to set her free unless she's got an ankle bracelet and she's confined to her home with a officer from the court or a police officer outside the house to make sure she doesn't flee? What judge would risk his reputation and his job and bail this woman? I think very unlikely she receives bail.
Your Honor, stipulate to no bond at this time without prejudice and the right to revisit with Judge Everett, which is the judge assigned to the case.
All right, so Ms. Adelson, at this time, you're being held with no bond on count 1. Your bond will remain $25,000 on count 2 and $25,000 on count 3. As a condition of your bond, you'd have no contact with the victim's family, you'd have no contact with any co-defendants, and no contact with any witnesses that are listed in the probable cause affidavit. Do you understand those conditions?
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's it for this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
She Short and sweet, but it is the first appearance of Donna Adelson there inside of the court. And you heard there, she has no bond on that first top count of first-degree murder. And on the other two counts, conspiracy to commit murder, solicitation to commit murder, all of this of her ex-son-in-law, Dan Markell, she's being held on a $25,000 bond. Let's bring in to help.
So she's being held, not bailed. But again, as I said, I think that the chances that she does get bailed are extremely slim. I mean, who would, after she tried to flee with her husband, Harvey, to Dubai out of Miami, arrested in Miami airport, getting ready to get on a plane, they're fleeing. How could she possibly be bailed? And of course, many people are just they're waiting. Why is Wendy free? Why is Harvey free? And I've said many times as we watch this case is that the wheels of justice spin very slowly, but they spin exactly because they don't want to make any mistakes. These people can afford excellent counsel. Let's just recap how the cops caught this FSU professor's murderer, and let's listen to how they covered it in the news.
Of Hollywood film noir, a suspicious murder of a college professor, unraveling to reveal what police say could be a conspiracy involving hitmen. But who paid them? Could it be the victim's ex-in-laws? ABC's Matt Gutman at the scene of the crime.
Even by Florida standards, the shooting of law professor Dan Markell is a shocker.
The mysterious killing of a prominent law professor,
Murdered execution style.
shot and killed inside his home.
The intense and driven Markell was a superstar.
Our second speaker is Dan Markell.
A renowned scholar who commanded attention at prestigious legal seminars around the country.
But the sentencing issue is distinct from the criminalization question.
After coming back from the gym on the morning of July 18th, 2014, Markell is gunned down in his garage in this upscale neighborhood. His next-door neighbor calling 911.
His driver's side window is shattered and he's battered and can't answer. He's inside, the car is running, and he's got blood all over his head. He's not responding to me.
About 15 hours after he is shot, Dan Markell is pronounced dead. Somebody, for some reason, wanted Dan Markell dead, but who? Right after the shooting, police didn't have much to go on, but they did get one lead. The neighbor who called 911 from that house told them that he saw a light-colored car that looked like a Prius back out of the driveway and head down the road.
Now in Tallahassee, a Prius and Subarus are a dime a dozen.
While investigators hunt for that eco-friendly vehicle of interest, they are also digging into every aspect of Markell's life. First person they interview is ex-wife Wendy Adelson.
Who would do this?
I don't know.
Like Mark,
Wendy is an outstanding actress. Outstanding, Here she is crying. Who would do this? Oh my God, who would do this? And we watched her performance on the stand. She's good. She's a very good witness because she's testifying for her life, and she's also a lawyer. So she knows how to testify. She knows what to say. She knows what not to say. She knows how to cover her tracks. However, guess what? Law enforcement can take as much time as they want because, as I say ad nauseum, there is no statute of limitations for murder. So she could go about her life and 4 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, someone could knock on her door and say, Wendy Adelson? Yes, would you step outside, please? You're under arrest for the murder of Daniel Markell, your ex-husband. Could that happen? It happens every day of the week.
Wendy was also a law professor at Florida State. The two had what seemed to be a loving marriage with two beautiful boys. Wendy tells police she's innocent.
My ex-husband caused me a lot of grief.
would never do something like this.
In a podcast she recorded after the murder, Wendy says her overachieving husband belittled her.
Our marriage dissolved after the children arrived, as the loneliness of being married to someone that didn't view me as an equal crept in.
Wendy and Dan divorced in 2013, but the conflicts continued, especially over Wendy's desire to move with the kids to South Florida to be closer to her mother, father, and brother, who all work together in their successful cosmetic dentistry practice. Markel successfully thwarted that move, further straining his already tense relationship with Wendy's family.
They're very angry with him, but even my family, who felt like I had been mistreated, would never do something like this. Never.
The cop.
So pretty amazing, pretty amazing. So, the story, of course, we know how it ends, but there's so many moving parts in between. And the biggest moving parts are to do with who they hired to do this dirty work, right? Because usually people that are affluent people, educated people, do they just randomly know people that will kill someone for money, that will shoot someone, that will do a hit? Do they know these people? Well, most of the time not, but enter Catherine Magbanua. And she, having an affair with Charlie Adelson, she does know these type of people. In fact, one of them on the screen right now was her baby's daddy, Sigfredo Garcia. So, yeah, she knows people that would do this. She knows some bad guys, right? Because you have to hire a bad guy to shoot and kill someone. Good guys don't really do this, So that's what they do. They enlist the help of a bad guy, right? And there's Charlie Adelson. And here's one of the bad guys, right? Daniel Garcia, who is a high-ranking Latin king. I don't know what that means. I don't know how you are high-ranking in an organization like that. And if you listen to him testify, he's not a very bright, high-ranking leader of the Latin kings. He's quite dopey, if you ask me. And he indicated when they were driving to do the hit, right? When they were driving to kill Daniel Markel, he was driving. They both had guns. They were both willing to do the shooting. But because he was driving, the first one out, of course, was Sigfredo Garcia, and he does the dirty deed. But there's something, folks, in the law called acting in concert. Acting in concert. So when you act and you have the intent to commit a crime like that, and you help carrying it out by driving, you were fully aware of what was going to go on, you in fact were willing to be the shooter, you're charged with the same thing. So he's charged with murder first degree also. But this little spineless weasel decides to testify, to cut his sentence down. Of course, to the great chagrin of the defense attorneys, who are like, he's given a deal to do 7 years and he owes 12 years on another caper. So he'll still do 19 years. But on this case, his testimony got him 7 years instead of life without parole. So yeah, there are deals to be had in the criminal justice system. There are absolutely deals. In fact, what do we think of Wendy? You think Wendy is going to get a deal? What do we think? Can Wendy talk her way out of this? Or does the prosecution have enough evidence right now to charge her? Certainly, she's perjured herself on the stand. Could they charge her with perjury? We discussed this in the last show. Absolutely. And guess what? Perjury in a capital crime. She could get 30 years for lying. 30 years. But guess what? I think the prosecution wants to bring a murder first degree case against her. and possibly against Papa Harvey Adelson also. So they're not going to stop. They don't want to just get, if they can't get anything else, they'll take the perjury charge. However, I think they're going to go full speed ahead and build a case for murder first degree. Let's hear a little bit of this from the Charlie Adelson, Donna Adelson, the blackmail threat.
Correspondent Julia Janae. They are at the lunch break there. We're a little bit behind because we were watching the Caitlin Armstrong opening statements out of Texas this morning, Julia. So fill us in. Lunch break now. A lot of recordings today, I guess.
A lot of recordings for this jury to take in. The lead FBI agent who's been on the stand now, second day in a row, he's already been recalled, but he is one of the lengthiest witnesses that the state is going to call. And he said that they intercepted thousands of calls from Charlie Adelson, the Adelson family, Catherine McBanowa, all of those calls back and forth. And this started because of a bump that the FBI did where they shook things up. They had someone approach Donna Adelson as if they were a blackmailer to see how these parties would act. And I think this jury looks at this in a different lens.
I love the technique they use to get everyone talking. And the FBI calls it the bump. In the NYPD, we used to call it shaking the tree, you know? So they go to one of the main players, right? And that's Grandma Donna Adelson, right? And the guy pretends to be a blackmailer. He's actually an FBI undercover. Meanwhile, they're on a wire on all their phones, right? They're up on all their phones. They have warrants on all their phones. And it served the purpose because right away she calls who? Charlie Adelson, right? And they implicate themselves in the case. And it just shows a conspiracy. It shows a consciousness of guilt. And the FBI, the technique they used was brilliant, a brilliant technique.
Perhaps then we have been looking at this all along because it's in this trial that we learned that the defense theory, what Charlie Adelson is going to be arguing in front of this jury in closing arguments, is that he was already being blackmailed by Sigfredo Garcia and Catherine McBanowa. So this bump would have been a second attempt at a blackmail. But we're hearing the phone conversation that he had with Catherine McBanowa after his mom was approached. He wants Katie to call the number on the piece of paper that was given by that undercover agent. Here's how things seem to heat up between them.
If someone's messing with you, they're messing with me. If someone's messing with me, they're messing with you. It's one and the same. So what I'm saying is find out who the
If you can get a role in both different offices, call the number. Keep the number works. Bottom line. Because I find myself and that not work.
Please call them, find out who the is now. Trust me on this. Find out who the it is.
Amazing, right? Catherine McBanowa. She is the one who gets the shooters. She is the one who hires her baby daddy and his buddy, the Latin king, to do the dirty deed, to do the shooting, right? And here it is. She's talking and fully recorded based on this bump. Tremendous work by the FBI, tremendous law enforcement technique, and it worked.
Get a number, listen to me, and get a number, something on the stage because I want other people.
Now, throughout that call, Charlie Adelson is asking Catherine McBanowa to handle really the dirty work of this, figure out who might be trying to blackmail them and fix it. She at one point says that if it's not the FBI, we should just go to the FBI. She was really upset. She didn't really mean that. But here's a look at Charlie Adelson today. Ted, he's been looking a bit more tired than other days. There's sometimes when he's just blinking away. He seems to be a little bit more just tired, exhausted from this process, but overall.
Well, of course, we know the results of Charlie Adelson's trial. He got convicted of murder first degree, and it's because of outstanding evidence like this that they put forth in court. Because, of course, their defense was they were being blackmailed. You know, they don't know who did this. It was a blackmail. You know, and again, how many people are involved in this, who did this? How many people were involved? Charlie Adelson, right? Donna Adelson, Harvey Adelson, Wendy Adelson. Pretty soon, I believe the entire family is going to be wearing a pink jumpsuit, a prison jumpsuit. There you see Donna Adelson on the screen, and going from grandma to prison inmate number blah, 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 blah. She's probably going to do the rest of her life in prison. And so when a murder for hire, granted, they got away with it for years. This happened in 2014. How did they get away with it for so long? The long arm of the law, though, brought them in, right? Let's listen to this from Law and Crime.
After her son's conviction in the murder for hire plot against his former brother-in-law, Dan Markel, the victim in that case. Adelson family matriarch, the mother, Donna Adelson, was arrested last night in Miami 1 week after Charlie Adelson, her son, was found guilty in the first-degree murder in the 2014 death of Markel. A former Florida State professor, Charlie Adelson's conviction made him the fourth person in Dan Markel's murder to be convicted in the case. The triggerman, Sigfredo Garcia, and Adelson's ex-girlfriend, Catherine Magbanwa, were found guilty in separate trials. A third man, Luis Rivera, took a plea deal for second-degree murder and cooperated with law enforcement authorities in the prosecution of the remaining co-defendants. Donald Adelson.
Could you imagine that the motive for this was a heated custody battle? A heated custody battle. So this family, in their arrogance, thought that they could just kill or have Dan Markel killed. And there's the shooter in that little thumbnail. There's the shooter, Sigfredo Garcia, the father of Catherine Magbanwa's children, right? And there's Charlie Adelson and, of course, Wendy Adelson. So instead of just going through the courts of law, going through a regular divorce, let's be like the Sopranos. Let's be like the Gambinos. Let's just have them whacked, like it's so easy to get away with, Let's have them whacked. And, people that aren't criminals, even professional criminals, they're usually not that smart either, but these people have no clue. They're going into a territory in an area that they have no idea, they don't belong in, and they hire through a third party two shooters, right? One who's a Latin king. Oh, how smart. You think these guys are going to stand up and be stand-up guys when they get caught, and they're going to say, oh, we took a vow of omerta? I mean, it's just unbelievable. And of course, one of them sings like a parakeet, right? One of them sang, he couldn't wait to sing to cut a deal, right? There he is on the stand, right? He's singing like a parakeet. Luis Rivera, yes. He didn't understand half the questions they asked him. They had to repeat them over and over again. But he cuts a deal and gets 7 years instead of 30 to life, or life in prison without parole. Unbelievable, right? And these are the guys that Charlie Adelson, and I've been getting killed in the chat saying, why do you think they're smart? Well, they're intellectually smart. The guy became a doctor, right? He's a periodontist. You can't be an idiot and become a doctor of dentistry, a periodontist, right? Wendy Adelson's an attorney. You can't be an idiot and go through law school and pass the bar, right? So in that way, they're smart, right? Harvey Adelson's a dentist. You can't be a dummy, So collectively, they're all, most of doctors except, Donna Adelson, who's the mom. I don't know what her educational background is, but yes, I don't mean to be arrogant and say, oh, just because they're rich and they're affluent and they're, they got a lot of money, that they're smart. I'm saying they're smart based on their titles, their education in that way. But, they always used to say on the police department many times, common sense. It's not always that common, There's a lot of damn truth to that. Common sense doesn't always come with the territory. People lose their common sense, right?
Adelson was reportedly, get this, arrested in Miami International Airport after she and her husband allegedly purchased one-way tickets to Vietnam.
So that's the facts that we spoke about before. One-way tickets to Vietnam, except they had a stopover in Dubai. So, and then they mentioned it to a friend. They were asking this friend about travel and the friend called the FBI and told them what the Adelsons were up to. With friends like that, who needs enemies, right? They told a friend that they were taking a one-way trip to Vietnam, and that friend called the FBI. Bobby Swain, do I think that Harvey knew of the plan? I absolutely think he knew of the plan. You think they're going to be able to keep it from the dad? I don't think so. This seemed like it was an All in the Family episode. All in the Family, that the whole family knew about this dirty deed. The whole family was involved in that, and I know everyone is dying to see this person here, Wendy Adelson. Everyone wants to see her in handcuffs. Everyone wants to see her in that pink jumpsuit that her mother was just photographed in, right? There we have it right there. Pink, red. They want to see her in that. And right now, again, the arms of justice move very slowly. But there, again, no statute of limitations for murder. They could come and get her. Imagine living your life like that, knowing any day someone's going to be knocking on your door and say, hello, would you step outside your apartment? We'd like to speak with you.
Why not? Authorities booked her on an out-of-county felony warrant, but no charges have been specified yet. With me right now to break this all down is a special guest and criminal defense attorney, Tim Jansen, who has been following the Dan Markel murder case from the very beginning. Tim, I know that you are the guy because all the producers, everybody talks about how intimately you are involved in this case. So let me just toss it to you. Like, what kind of seismic effect has this arrest of the mother had? And what are your thoughts as to why it happened, when it happened, and how good a case the prosecutors have?
Well, the public has been clamoring for Donna to get arrested. And the reason that is because during the trial of her son, Charlie, the state played lots of evidence that clearly showed Donna was involved in this conspiracy. She looked like she was the lady that was moving the plans to happen. And she's on recorded calls, very damning evidence. And I think they were going to move to indict her. But when they got wind of the fact that she was getting a one-way ticket with her husband, Harvey, to Vietnam, they decided that they were going to go ahead and arrest her. And it is important because the agent that was down there was Agent Pat Sanford, the FBI agent.
That is when they moved in quickly, is when they found out that that Donna and Harvey were flying to Vietnam, off to Vietnam on a one-way ticket. And obviously because Vietnam does not have an extradition treaty with the United States, they felt that it was probably time to move in and arrest Donna, because once she got to Vietnam, it could take months, maybe even years, to extradite her from Vietnam. And just like in the in the Gilgo Beach case with Rex Schuerman, when he was identified over a year ago, they had probable cause over a year ago, they waited because they wanted to build a more solid case. And I'm sure the prosecutor in this case, people of Florida against Donna Adelson in this caper, I'm sure they wanted to wait, but they did not want to take the chance that she would flee to Vietnam and they could lose her. So that's why they moved in, and they moved in quickly to arrest her. And there she is, of course, at court. And we remember that when she was arrested, here was Good Morning America talking about her arrest at Miami airport. And here it is on your
arrest in a murder for hire plot that left the Florida State law professor dead nearly a decade ago. The victim's former mother-in-law was taken into custody as police say she was trying to leave the country. Victor Okendo is in Miami with more. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Michael. Donna Adelson was arrested right here at Miami International Airport on the jetway as she was getting ready to board a one-way flight to Vietnam. That's a country without extradition to the United States. Now she's in custody in Miami, waiting to be transferred to Tallahassee.
Nearly a decade after a prominent FSU law professor was shot and killed in a murder for hire plot, this morning, a shocking new development.
Ma'am, you were arrested on a warrant from Leon County, Florida.
Dan Markel's former mother-in-law, Donna Adelson, now facing murder charges. The 73-year-old arrested at Miami International Airport Monday night after attempting to board a one-way flight to Vietnam.
She was apprehended on the jetway getting on that plane. She had literally checked in and was walking into the plane.
41-year-old Markel was gunned down in the driveway of his Tallahassee home in 2014 while in a bitter custody battle with his ex-wife, Wendy Adelson, who wanted to relocate their two boys to South Florida to be closer to her family. But Markel refused. That's why prosecutors say the Adelson family took matters into their own hands.
So who did it appear had a motive to want Dan Markel dead? His own family.
Just last week, Wendy's brother, Charles Adelson, was convicted for Markel's murder. The Florida dentist also found guilty of soliciting and conspiring with two hitmen to carry it out. Now prosecutors say their mother, Donna, helped arrange that murder plot too. In this police surveillance video, an undercover FBI agent confronts Adelson and demands more money after the murder. Investigators say she later made this call to her son.
I got some paperwork hand-delivered to me.
Does it involve me or other people?
Well, probably both of us.
According to the probable cause affidavit obtained by ABC News, Donna spoke to Charles in multiple jail calls over the past week where she told him she was getting things in order, creating trust, and making sure her grandchildren are taken care of. She even discussed plans for suicide or fleeing to a non-extradition country. Soon after, prosecutors claim she booked that one-way flight to Vietnam with the layover in Dubai.
When we found that she was leaving the country, extradition would have been an issue. And that was when the decision was made that we needed to kind of expedite.
Adelson appearing before a Miami judge Tuesday morning, being held without bond. The Markel family not commenting on her arrest, but telling ABC News in September how relieved they were after Charles was arrested.
Because it's taken so long. We want the people that are involved to pay the price.
Both Donna and her daughter Wendy, Markel's ex, have previously denied any involvement in the crime. Wendy has never been charged. Guys?
All right, Victor, thank you for...
Amazing, right? So it's sort of put so succinctly, and that it looks so clear how this whole conspiracy was put together. Yet, we can always think that things are so simple and so easy. Yet, the prosecution has to prove it. They have to prove this beyond a reasonable doubt. And good and high-paid attorneys are paid to create doubt. And you can bet your bottom dollar that they're going to have good attorneys. They're going to pay. They have lots of money, and they're going to hire the best attorneys that money can buy. And whenever we look at this, the photo of the bump, the undercover FBI agent giving the little sort of a extortion letter to Donna Adelson, and she sort of went for it, hook, line, and sinker. She went for it all, and that again was the, I believe, the catalyst behind this whole case. You know, the catalyst that created such great evidence against Charles Adelson, and again, the catalyst in the arrest against Donna Adelson. If that's not probable cause, strong probable cause, I don't know what it is. And you heard the judge in the arraignment say the prosecutor said, this indictment is based on a grand jury true bill, which of course means an indictment. So she's been indicted for murder first degree. And that was count 1, which no bail. Count 2 and 3, conspiracy and some other charges, $25,000 bail on each one of them for a total of $50,000 bail. But Donna Adelson should never, ever get bailed because she's already proven to be a flight risk. And if we believe, and the prosecution believes, that Harvey and Wendy Adelson are involved in this, how can they possibly give bail to Donna Adelson? Isn't she an extreme flight risk? I would say so. This is Police Off the Cuff, real crime stories. If you like real crime or true crime from a police perspective, then you're in the right place. And if you're not subscribed to us, go on our YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and ring that bell. And if you want to contribute to us, we have a Patreon with 3 different levels. And we also have a YouTube channel membership with, count them, 5 different levels. And we really appreciate our friends, our family, and our subscribers on our YouTube channel membership. And we want to wish everyone watching the show tonight a happy Thanksgiving. And just realize that your Thanksgiving, you give thanks, and you're with your friends, your family, and your loved ones, and appreciate that day. Thursday's going to be Thursday, obviously. Appreciate it. I want to show a little bit of Wendy Adelson testifying in court, and there's a big question whether she perjured herself or not. Should she be charged with perjury? Did she lie? And as we said earlier, if she did lie, she could be, and convicted of such, she could get 30 years for perjuring herself in a capital murder case. Fuzzy Doxy, thank you so much for the $9.99 super sticker. Very much appreciated. Appreciate so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. So let's watch a little bit of Wendy Adelson testifying. And she's very smooth, but this prosecutor is even smoother.
Go to the crime scene or very near the crime scene on your way from your residence to, I guess, to lunch or to wherever you were going next?
No, I did not.
So you never turned on Trescott Drive that day?
I went to turn on Trescott Drive, but I saw that it had been blocked off by some tape. And so I just kept driving on Centerville.
Okay. And when you had to turn around at the tape, right, to go back out?
I think I tried to turn right and it couldn't turn. So I would have made like the kind of turn, like a K turn, and kept going.
Was there a roadblock there with?
There was tape.
Yeah. And an officer was there?
I didn't see an officer, but I did see a car.
You know, she's driving by her husband's home right after he gets murdered. Like, what was that all about? You know, is that like checking to see if the dirty deed was done?
A law enforcement marked vehicle. Okay. Did you have any contact with the officer?
No.
Okay. Did you do anything after that to try to find out what was going on down that roadway?
No, I just assumed it was weather or maybe a tree fell.
I just want to note, I love the prosecutor's style throughout this trial. throughout the trial. It was amazing. Now let's take a listen to Officer Bill Brannon from the Tallahassee Police describing the same situation.
From the roadblock where you were positioned, could you see the crime scene?
Yes.
Would it have been obvious to someone approaching your position in a vehicle that there was activity, law enforcement activity going on at that residence?
It seems likely.
Did you know at the time that Wendy Adelson drove this type of vehicle?
Yes.
All right, so you noticed this vehicle or a vehicle identical to this one approach your position?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did the vehicle do when it approached your position?
Just stopped pretty quick and turned around and headed back in the other direction.
All right, Tim Jansen, can you break it down for us? Because everyone thought this was a little strange that Wendy Adelson is testifying at this trial.
We're going to watch her testify. I don't really want to watch them break it down here.
Problem with the prosecuting Wendy is,
let's see, he's talking about the problem with prosecuting her for perjury, but I think they have a really good opportunity to do that.
Lacoste, that your brother called that a celebratory dinner.
I did not.
Was that a...
One moment, Ms. Campbell.
Yes, sir.
Objection. Hearsay. Overruled.
Was that dinner a celebration of the murder of your ex-husband?
Absolutely not. That dinner was the first time I left my house after over a month because I was terrified. And if it was a celebration of anything, it was a celebration that I was willing to leave the house and eat a meal.
During one of those phone calls, did you learn about a dinner where Wendy had become ill at the table?
Yes, I did learn about that.
And what did you learn about that dinner?
That she went out to dinner with Charlie for what he called a celebration dinner. He said something to her. She spontaneously vomited on the table.
And this would have been within how much time after the homicide?
Within a few weeks.
You know, I think that, she was 100% down with this, but when she thought of it, it really bothered her for some reason, but maybe she couldn't stomach what she was obviously involved in. And just imagine the arrogance of having a celebratory dinner to celebrate, and I'll use the term again, the dirty deed was done. Imagine having a celebratory dinner for that. And she's so upset. So she vomits at the table. Oh my God.
Was it specified that the celebration was in reference to Dan Markel's death as opposed to anything else?
Wasn't specified.
Okay. But whatever it was, that's the dinner where she vomited.
That's right.
All right, Jerry Crotty, how about Wendy?
So the guy who's on this talks about body language and how he's a body language expert and he could tell that she's lying. We've seen a lot of these different body language experts, and some of them are good. Some of them, I don't know. They just, body language is readable, but sometimes body language is very unique to the person that's exhibiting it. And you can't just say, oh, folding your arms means you're deceptive, or you're being, you're not telling the truth, or you're lying. Certain movements, looking down. Yes, a good interviewer, a good interrogator knows the signs of these things, and he knows when to bear down in an interrogation, and he knows when to let up, and when to ease up is the better term. And when someone is lying, that's the time you go after them and you challenge them with their lies, with what you know to be the truth. And you let them know that what they just said is not true, and this is why. And you use logic to challenge them. And that's how you break down someone who's telling a lot of lies. But someone like Wendy Adelson is perhaps an excellent liar, and may even believe her own lies, And that's the best liars you find out. They do believe their own lies. And that's how they sometimes get away with it. If you're looking for a great defense attorney in the New York metropolitan area, then Joe Murray is your man. Joe's a retired NYPD police officer and a fantastic defense attorney. You can reach Joe on his cell phone at 718-514-3855. Email him at joe@jmurray-law.com. Go on his website, jmurray-law.com. Not only is Joe Murray a fantastic defense attorney, but a huge supporter of the Police Off the Cuff podcast. And we really appreciate everything that Joe Murray has done for this show and has done for clients that we have referred to him. He's really a fantastic attorney and an even better guy, outstanding guy. So when we look at these people up on the screen, Daniel Markel, a victim, 2014, almost 9 years ago, right? And the shooter in that little thumbnail inside his picture, Sigfredo Garcia, and Charlie Adelson, and of course, Wendy Adelson on the screen there. This conspiracy of this murder for hire by this family that seemingly had everything, And there's the little chart there. Luis Rivera, the Latin king, the high-ranking Latin king member. I don't know what that means, high-ranking. Do they have elections or you just get appointed? Sigfredo Garcia. Those are the two would-be shooters, except only one of them was the shooter, Sigfredo Garcia, who is the baby's daddy of Catherine Magbanua, who was having an affair. Look at this tangled web we weave when you choose to deceive, right? Charlie Adelson, the dentist, the periodontist, who was having an affair with Catherine Magbanua, who had connections to these bad guys. Look at the bad guy. Look at the bad guy, right? She had connections with these bad guys who were going to do this dirty deed and shoot her husband, And then just recently arrested, trying to flee the country and arrested in Miami airport with her husband, Harvey, with a one-way ticket to Vietnam with a stopover in Dubai, Donna Adelson. And now Donna Adelson is sitting in jail, right? Sitting in jail. And here's her most recent photo in that really attractive red jumpsuit there. And in her concerned face on the left. Probably will never be a free woman the rest of her years. She's 73 years old. She may have a long life ahead of her, but she's not gonna be grandma outside of the jail, outside of a prison, And the fact that her son Charlie get convicted, I think makes it much easier for them to convict her. So when we talk about this case, Harvey Adelson, Wendy Adelson, your days are coming. Your days of being free, they're numbered. They're absolutely numbered. And again, no statute of limitations on murder. And we look at this photo to the left, Donna Adelson. In the middle, the victim, Daniel Markel. And to the right, with that serious, sad face, Charlie Adelson. Look what they've done. Look what they've done, not just to the life of Daniel Markel, a brilliant attorney, a brilliant professor, but to their own family. They've destroyed their entire family with their actions. And most of us don't give a damn about that. We care more about Daniel Markel and Daniel Markel's family. He's the victim, He's the victim. There you have, they look like a happy couple. At one time, maybe they were, According to Wendy Adelson, it all went to pieces after they had children, He didn't treat her right. He thought he was much smarter than her, much more brilliant than she. So You know, go to a divorce attorney, get divorced. Don't have him killed, you know. But you guys thought you were too powerful. You thought you could get away with it. And now there's your mom, Donna Adelson. Will never be a free woman again, you know. And Wendy Adelson, as I said before, your day is coming. Your days as a free woman are numbered. Very much numbered. And as I said, even if they can't prove you were part of this murder for hire conspiracy, I think they get you on perjury. And they can build a perjury case against you. And it's all over. It's all over. Hotshot Guy, police off the cuff, great show, moderator and crime story investigator. Thank you, Hotshot Guy. I've been noticing you in the chat. You're a good supporter of the show. Thank you so much. Jeff M., Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap. Funny how it never seems to be worth it. That's a AC/DC song, right? Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap. I'm a rock and roll aficionado myself. I know that tune. Moonlight View. So Donna will never babysit her grandkids again. So dumb. Yeah, maybe. And did you notice one of the, in the hearing, one of the things the judge said is that you are not allowed to speak to any of your family members. You're not allowed to speak. Obviously, she's not going to speak to Daniel Markel's family, but she's not allowed to speak to any of those people. And this was all outlined in her instructions. And as far as I can see, I don't see Donna Adelson ever getting bailed. But you know something, the way bail is in this country, seems like everyone gets bailed. And she has demonstrated that she is a flight risk. What can they do? They can take her passport from her. Schmitty, good to see you. Sergeant Bill speaks the truth. Love it. Thank you, Schmitty. So good to have all you guys. Faticus, perjury is second-degree felony with high punishment. Faticus, you're right. And I think in a capital murder case, you can get over 30 years for perjury. So if she's perjured herself on many occasions in this case, not only can she get 30 years, she can get multiple counts. She could get separate counts of 30 years. And a judge can make those counts consecutive instead of concurrent. So yeah, I think she's got a big problem. Tia Bawa, the dinner was only 12 days after Dan's death. My goodness. Is that crazy? Teresa S., hating Dan was their hobby. I think you're right. I think they all hated him. But you know something? What about the kids? How could you do that to the kids? The kids must have loved their father, right? And this evil family decides to take him out. Jersey Devil, like that would be forever. Laugh out loud. Faticus, especially in a capital murder case. Yes, you're right. That's, perjury in a capital murder case, you can get 30 years to life. So it is no joke. Bobby Swain, way too much of a flight risk, in my opinion, to get bail. Plus, it's a first-degree murder charge, just like her son. Bail, unlikely. Yes, I agree. Totally unlikely. So, guys, I think I want to wish, we're at almost an hour. I only wanted to go on. I can never go on for 45 minutes. I always go past that. That's what I had planned to do, a shorter show tonight. I want to just really wish everyone, especially everyone who's following this case. I seem to pick up a lot of different subscribers, new subscribers, probably from Florida. I'm actually, you can see my face is all red. I was fishing in Isla Morada for 2 days with my sons. Great time. Always great to spend time with your kids, especially before Thanksgiving. I'm down in Florida, hopefully for the winter now. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. And I want to wish everyone out there a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have everyone has a great time being with family. Charisma, thank you so much, member, for 22 months. Very much appreciate your membership. Richella Pranzo, sad children are always victims of these tragedies. Richella, great to see you. I know you'll be cooking up a storm for Thanksgiving. That's how you roll. I know that. Not just turkey, but you're going to have Italian food too. I know you Italians. I love Italian food. You can't just have turkey for Thanksgiving. You have to throw some of that Italian food in there. Tia Bauer, Wendy's lies is so much that I'm wondering if something else is bothering her. Do we know? It's not normal to lie about everything. Well, some people are pathological, you know. Katerina Frodolova, it's hard when you have family members, you can't talk to them, and it will be very hard on her. Used to do whatever she wants. Yeah, I think you're right. Jersey Devil, fishing, oh, poor you, Bill. Yeah, it's especially in Isla Morada. It's a magical place. I love it there. Lieutenant Pete, great to see you. Lieutenant Pete, Harlem Raiders, one of the best, one of the greatest lieutenants in NYPD history, Lieutenant Peter Pranzo. Great and a great supporter of this show. So, guys, that's our show for this evening. Again, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for stopping by tonight. And have a great day. Have a great night tonight and a great Thanksgiving Thursday. God bless everyone.
One episode just ain't enough.